Hey, this video is for my European friends who love a good hamburger but don't know how to do it at home. So what I'm going to do today is show you a simple way to make an excellent burger for your friends and your family. So let's go through the ingredients to start with. I'm not promoting any brands here, but this is ground beef, 100% beef with about 25% fat. So we start with the ground beef. The next important ingredient is ketchup that will go in the beef. Then we have a sauce that you may not know called the Worcester sauce. We put in salt and pepper and garlic. Those are the classic main ingredients for your burger. But because in Europe sometimes the beef isn't that great, we have a couple additional things that we like to put in there. Some red wine and a little bit of mustard that gives it some oomph. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to prepare these ingredients to mix them up, and I'll show you how to do that. So first I start with the ketchup, and it's okay to use a liberal amount of ketchup. And I'm going to make about 4 to 5 hamburgers here. Each burger should be between 180 and a maximum of 200 grams. So mine are about 180. And for about 180, I use about that much ketchup, and you kind of have to do it by feel. So I put some ketchup in there. Next, I add my Worcestershire sauce, about that much. Don't know how much that is. Put my pepper in there. Don't be afraid to use a good deal of pepper. Next, I add my salt. Here we go. I don't put too much salt in. Don't like it to be too salty. A little bit of salt. Then I get my garlic going. Crush that garlic. That's probably enough garlic. Don't want it to be too garlicky. Now, onto my red wine. A little bit in there, just for flavor. And for a little bit of added oomph, here's some mustard. Okay, then I take the spoon. That's about all that I have. I'll probably add a little bit more after I mix it in. I mix it up like that. And now I add the beef to this. Here I add some beef to it, my second package. Total beef that I have here is about 700 grams. And then I'm going to put just a little bit more ketchup on top. Just a little bit there, a little bit more sauce, a little bit more pepper. Okay, I'm mixing the meat all together with my hand just like this. So everything gets mixed in there real well. And now I'm ready to prepare the beef patty. And that's a question of how much. Well, to me, I take this much. It's about the size of a baseball, if you know how big a baseball is. Otherwise, it's around, like I said, 180 grams or so. And I get it into a ball, and then I just kind of do this with it. I kind of push it down, bring the sides together so it's not going to fall apart on the grill. I want it to be pretty thick. Nicely made together. So there's one. I'll show you how to do one more. I take about that much meat, put it in between my hands there, smush it up together. Now, the nice thing about making burgers is you can do 4 burgers and just make it for your family. Or if you're having guests over and you need to do 20, it's no problem either. It takes a little bit longer. But it's a good scalable meal, so you can have it for either a few people or a bunch. Okay, I'm going to finish this up. My finished beef patties. And like I said, we started with 800 grams of beef. We ended up with 4 patties. So each one is about 200 grams. The bigger ones are 200. That's the one I'm going to eat. The little one is probably 180 grams. That's the one that my cameraman's going to eat. Okay, let's go out to the barbecue and get that ready. Now the barbecue is an important part of cooking a burger. So this is my barbecue here. It's a Weber. Recommend those, although I'm not promoting any brands. What you're also going to need to do it correctly is some kind of charcoal starter, which this is one. Then for your charcoal, you have 2 choices over here. We have the charcoal briquettes or Holzkohle. Charcoal briquettes, they're great because they burn hot and last long. The Holzkohle, it's harder to use. Your time window for cooking is a lot shorter because it gets real hot, and then in 10 minutes it starts to cool down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of both. I'm going to put most of this in, of the briquettes. And I'm going to add a little Holtzkohl because some people like the flavor that comes with the Holtzkohl. I have my chimney filled up with my coals, and I'm going to use this heat tab. There's all kinds of different heat tabs you can use. I put the heat tab in, light it up, make sure it's going. I put my charcoal starter on top. In about 10 minutes the charcoal is going to be ready, and we'll come back. So the coals are getting ready, so we have about 10 minutes now to continue our preparation. So let's get the fixins ready for the burger. Classic lettuce, iceberg is one of the things that should go on a good burger. Tomato, if you happen to be able to find a good tomato. Cheese, this is Gruyere cheese, which we like here. We're lucky because we're in Switzerland, so we have some good choices. I like to put some red onion on my burger. You can always make guacamole and have a guacamole burger, but you don't want to mix too many different fixins. So the classic that I'm going to have today is going to be lettuce, tomato, red onion on our cheeseburgers. So I'm going to cut these things up, slice them while I'm waiting on the coals. Okay, so the coals are ready, and take a look here. You don't turn your coals, they're not ready until they're all burning on the top. So they should either be white or glowing red. And then I turn it over, and I make sure I don't have any left down there. And I spread my coals out, and then once I've done that, we'll be right back and I'll show you how to get the burgers going. We're just about ready to go. I want to check to make sure the temperature of the coals is right. So what I do is I take my hand and I just run it over like this, and I don't burn my hand. It's not so hot that it's scorching, but it's hot enough that I really don't want to leave my hand there much longer. Then I clean my grill. This is the only time I clean my grill. I believe in the heat cleaning method with a little bit of scrubbing. Get some smoke on there. Next, I take my burgers. I got some smoke coming on there because I just cooked some stuff yesterday. I get my burgers there on the grill. And I cook. Now this is very important. I cook on each side for 4 minutes and 4 minutes only. Don't overcook. Okay, so 4 minutes is up, and I'm going to flip the burgers. Flip it over. What I don't do is I don't smush it down. I don't go like that, because when you do that, you release a lot of the juices that people like in their burger. So there we are, 4 minutes. Now I'm putting the cheese. Put the cheese on. I have orders for 3 cheeseburgers and 1 without cheese. So that's how I'm going to do it, just like that. And the other important trick is you toast the buns. So they go out on the grill. Don't walk away. That's only about 30 seconds, maybe maximum of 1 minute. Coming up on 4 minutes, and if you notice here, the cheese isn't quite melted yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the top of the grill for the last couple minutes, just to make sure the cheese is melting. And then I'm going to test, and I'll show you how to test it for being done. We've cooked the burgers now for 8 minutes. The cheese is melted, and I just do a little push down to see how done they are. It should, if it's like a sponge and it's really mushy, it's not ready yet. This one's definitely ready. He needs a little bit more time. So the ones that are ready, I'm just going to put right here onto the buns. And I'll just wait another 30 seconds or so while this guy gets ready to... All the burgers are ready. I cooked these a little bit longer because they're a little bit thicker, so that might have been about 5 minutes per side, but you don't have to do more than that. As I said, normally you'd have a bun for each one, but some of my team over here helped themselves earlier to the buns. So alright guys, time to eat. I have my ketchup, my red onion, my tomatoes, put some lettuce on top, and what I like to do then is cut it in half. So now I can smush it down a little bit. I like to cut it in half because it's easier to eat that way. And then in the middle, it should be just a little bit pink. Alright, well thanks for joining. Enjoy your burgers.